Hi there, YouTube. If you hadn't seen, in addition to being a fan of Star Wars, I'm also a pretty big fan of Doctor Who. Specifically, I mostly grew up during the time of the um, the 9th, 10th, and 11th Doctor. I did see the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, though I admit I haven't seen all of his episodes, and I saw a good amount of Jodie Whittaker, and it kind of got away from me for a while. When I moved out of my parents' place during the beginning of Jodie Whittaker's second season, I kind of lost my ability to watch Doctor Who on a regular basis, but I still held on to a couple things. The 3 Lego Doctor Who sets. That's right, Lego made 3 Lego Doctor Who sets. The first one was from 2009, and it's this set. It's the Lego Ideas Doctor Who. In fact, it was only the 11th Lego Idea set to be made. I wonder if that has anything to do with the 11th Doctor. Though, to be fair, we were on Capaldi. Interestingly enough, Clara is the only companion we get, though we do get 2 Daleks and a Weeping Angel, and I'll show some of the other stuff in a minute. But let's get this open, because I think this will probably be the thing you're most interested in. So the main TARDIS itself is actually fairly small. It does scale fairly well with minifigures. Let me pull out. There she is. It does scale fairly well, though obviously it is significantly larger than a human, at least larger than a minifig. But compared to the Lego Dimensions version, I think this one's in far better scale. Getting it open, getting the TARDIS open is interesting because you can't just open the doors. You have to, if I remember correctly, you actually have to pop the lid off and flip up the little signs and be careful not to break it. There we go. And then once we have these signs flipped up, we can put it back on in a moment. But now we should be able to. Did I do this wrong? It's been years since I've done this, so. There we go. I forgot. The doors don't open. Funnily enough, it's not the front door that opens, it's the back side. And that allows the TARDIS to open, revealing some rondels, the round things, if you will, as well as an inside of the TARDIS door, which is just white and black, but that's fine because you don't really need much. The inside of the TARDIS is white, at least for the Matt Smith and Capaldi, at least early Capaldi version before his TARDIS regenerates. Yeah, and that's kind of it for the TARDIS. The actual roof can kind of sit on top if you really want to have the look from the front, but it doesn't really do much. I do like having just this sitting on a shelf, though, because it's such an iconic look. The inside of the TARDIS is where things get interesting, because we have this whole station, and we've got panels and panels. Interestingly, these pieces here, specifically the yellow and silver pieces, those come, I believe, from Rock Raiders or maybe Star Wars. But the actual console of the TARDIS is this very intricately built thing with these little pieces. There's also specific prints for the main screens, though this is the same print twice. It also does have the all-important handle of flipping, the thing that the Doctor always seems to flip just to get the TARDIS to do what it needs to save the day. And I believe this is a unique print as well. These have been around since the 90s. But we also have, of course, the TARDIS's core. I do like how they kind of get the kind of very crystalline tube look using these lightsaber or transparent rods. But you can very easily just slide it in and plop that down. I don't remember how it's oriented. Let me see if I can figure it out from context. Okay, the switch, there we go. The big switch, the big lever, goes towards the stairs. So I actually need to flip this around. Like so. There we go. So you can have the inside of the TARDIS, and of course, if you really want to perfectly recreate the look, so to speak, you can very easily just by opening up the TARDIS again. Have it plug in with the little port here. You can have the inside of the TARDIS like this. Obviously, you're not going to get the full interior with the walls because that would be a huge set. It would be a lot more difficult to plan. And I like this little ladder that they built. It's just a very simple ladder with some clipped-on pieces to make for the stairs. But the intention being that this is all like the little working console bits of the TARDIS, which is very cool. Of course, we got the roof. I guess we can put the roof on here. I know that looks silly. Now, what you're probably here for, in addition to this, is all the stuff inside the box still. Obviously, there's instructions and everything, but more importantly, we have the minifigures, the thing everyone cares about. And we have a few interesting minifigures because we need to compare them to LEGO Dimensions, because those are the other two LEGO sets that LEGO produced with the Doctor Who label. First, the only one, one of the ones that's exclusive to this set, and that's the Weeping Angel. It's beautifully printed. I like keeping it on the attack face. I love the little wings, little wing pack. But it does have an alternative face if you want, which is simply the stone face, aka the kind of neutral face. So you can obviously make your own adventures with the Weeping Angel, and hopefully by this screen containing a Weeping Angel, I myself did not summon a Weeping Angel. And next up is the other exclusive, the other exclusive character, we'll say, and that's going to be Clara Oswald. I know Clara was a very controversial companion, but I really like the prints they do for her. They have her kind of sweater. Oh my goodness, focus screen. There we go. They have her sweater, and they have kind of this little plaid skirt thing that goes all the way around. She does have a very neutral, kind of serious face with her kind of eyebrows furled, and then her just kind of normal smile. I really like the hair they do for her. Jenna Coleman, oh my gosh. Jenna Coleman's a great actress. I liked her work on Doctor Who. I felt like she had a ponytail more often in the show, but still glad she got representation. That's it for technically for the characters unique to this set. But that's not fully true because we also get a different Doctor. We get Matt Smith, aka the 11th Doctor. And this is technically the only Doctor who can canonically take his hair off, because that is a bit in an episode, specifically the episode where Matt Smith regenerates. This isn't spoilers, this is like a decade. This is almost 2 decades old by this point. Love the little sonic screwdriver they give. Every Doctor gets his own sonic screwdriver. And he's got his very cheeky grin face and his little bow tie, because bow ties are cool. He also has an alternate face, which is kind of a little smirk, which makes it difficult to use, in my opinion, for a Muk, or with his extra accessory, because he has a tiny fez. And you can very easily give the doctor his fez, but then he'll have two faces. So, alternatively, you could try to just delicately balance it on top of his head, but this was before minifigure accessory holes were a big thing or a common thing, so it doesn't really work too well. I instead like to keep one of my fezes on a Dalek, but we'll talk about the Daleks in just a moment. Before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about Capaldi. Capaldi's doctor, aka the 12th Doctor, and he's got his little blue suit, he's got a purple jacket, and he's got a little pocket watch around his waist. And the main reason I want to talk a little bit about him, about this Capaldi, is because the other Capaldi that came in LEGO Dimensions, you can even see he's got his own little fancy base plate, is different. They did not just reuse the same print, which they totally could have done. In fact, if anything, I'm more surprised they didn't just reuse the same print. But you can tell this is just the purple jacket over the blue suit. Though they did change the printing a little bit to include the pocket watch and a button. But yeah, it's the same Capaldi, same hair, almost the same print. In fact, this one doesn't have a separate second face either. Yeah, so it's kind of funny that we got two Capaldis, one Matt Smith, and no other doctors. Though if you actually play LEGO Dimensions and you're playing as the Capaldi Doctor, you can just enter your TARDIS at any time and switch out to your favorite Doctor. Though unfortunately, LEGO Dimensions ended before, we had Jodie Whittaker. So I think it only is Doctors 1 through 12 for LEGO Dimensions. Before we go on to the Daleks, I do want to show off very briefly, again, that tiny TARDIS from LEGO Dimensions. And they give it some terrain, which is kind of cool, but the actual chip is the basic LEGO Dimensions chip. This is, I think, a gadget or a vehicle. I think it's a vehicle, yeah. We also got a little K9, which I think is a great build. The K9 build is very cute, and he can turn into a variety of different gun, tank emplacements. And then the last minifigure is a Cyberman. And the Cyberman is very interesting because this is a molded head. This is not a helmet that goes on a minifig head. It is a unique mold just for this minifigure, and it's the only, this LEGO Dimension set is the only set that includes the Cybermen. And that Cyberman is very lucky because he gets a little build, a Dalek build. And the Dalek build is kind of cool because while the print on top is identical to the one from the Idea set, the builds are wildly different. I'm just going to remove this from the base, make it a little bit easier for me. The builds are wildly different. You can see the one from LEGO Dimensions has a glowing blue eye, and that the arms are a lot closer together. Also, they use an antenna piece or a lever piece, and they use a telescope for the arms as opposed to using rods with little pieces at the end. And the way they build it is so different. This one definitely is more, I feel like this one's actually, weirdly enough, more screen accurate, the one from LEGO Dimensions. And this came out, I think, a year or two later. Now, we do get, at least for the Idea set, we do get two Daleks. So they are fundamentally the same build. Nothing crazy with these. They're just little brick-built Daleks with some hinge pieces to help arrange their contours. Of course, you can adjust the head because that's just on a single stud, but the arms don't move. I think the intention is that the left hand is the gun and the right hand is the suction cup, as opposed to, well, I guess this is the gun as well, the little antenna arm being the gun, though either could be the gun realistically, though I think this one has to be the suction cup, given the context. But yeah, so you can make some really cool stuff. I even kind of like to pretend, if I have them all on the same scene, that this one's like the commander, and that these two are like the kind of the older, like this is the newer Dalek and these are the older Daleks, and one of them just happened to steal the doctor's fez. And so you can have, the confrontation between the Dalek and the Cyberman. You're doing like the, oh, I forgot. And the Cyberman also has his own little custom chip for LEGO Dimensions. But you can have like the three Daleks taking on your choice of a doctor. And you can even arrange the TARDIS in such a way to make it look like the Daleks have captured it. So you can make like little fun arrangements. I'm not the best coordinated when filming like this. There you go. You can even do kind of stuff like that. Oh, that's kind of cute. But anyway, yeah, these are the only 3 Doctor Who sets. We had LEGO Dimensions Doctor. We had, well, the Ideas Doctor. And we had the Cyberman. And that's a very interesting collection that we've only had these 3. Because it has been a long time since LEGO has made anything Doctor Who based. But hopefully we'll get something again soon. I hope you found this interesting. And until next time, I've been Sylvie Moonbeam. I'll see you next time. Bye.